Hey guys, I am DJ Legion from Audio Waves Academy, and if this is your first time here, I teach everything about music production and sound engineering to help you get that radio-ready sound that you want, but at your home. Today I will show you exactly how to use coloring EQ in mastering. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which EQ to use for mastering if you want to have this clarity and balance without over-processing your mix. At the beginning, I will just use the Manley Massive Passive, but you can apply these techniques to any EQ you have. If you wonder why the Massive Passive, because it has a smooth musical curve, and I find it really perfect for broad tone shaping, and in my opinion, it really adds character to my master. But when I want to keep things a bit more precise, I will go and use the FabFilter Pro Q4 for some surgical cuts and dynamic EQ moves. But in today's video, we are not going to dive in so much on the FabFilter Pro Q4 because I want to show you the other plugin. But if you want to learn how you can go and use the FabFilter Pro Q4 on your mastering, I have also another one video that it goes like really in depth about how to go and use this plugin on your master. So let's go and start with the plugin. Here right now, this is how it sounds with and without. You can hear right away that when I enable the plugin, everything opens and it sounds much brighter, and it sounds like something was missing there. It was a bit boxy, and now it sounds much cleaner in my opinion about what elements we have there. But let's go step by step here. So what would be my first step? I would just go here and do a low cut. You might think, yeah, okay, we don't need something like a low cut in 23 or 30 or 38, but let me show you something here. If you have a closer look in this section here, below 30 Hz somewhere there, we have a lot of things going on, and you might not need them, to say the truth. So what I would go and do here, and if you believe it or not, I will go and activate this one here and have a close here on our master output. So right now we are hitting at minus 35.3 and below 20 Hz, so it is not so easy to feel or hear something there. I would go and take it out, but not like this. I would just go and bring it back here, and if I go and activate it, have a look. I think you can understand why I wanted to do a low cut here on 23 Hz. Now let's go on our next step, which is going to be thinking about additive versus subtractive EQ. Most producers think that mastering is all about cutting bad frequencies, but pros often also do the opposite. They boost what they want to enhance. And you might think, why? Because cutting too much, it can kill the energy, but these small strategic boosts, it can really shape the sound without losing loudness. In my workflow, I like to have two different stages of EQing. The first one is going to be the corrective EQ, which is going to be where I'm going to use the FabFilter Pro Q4 for this surgical dynamic cuts that I mentioned earlier. And the second one is going to be the Massive Passive for broad musical boosts. But you have to be a bit careful here. You don't want to overdo it, because I would highly recommend to go between 1 to 2.5 dB max when you are boosting. Let's go back on our track. Here I have also low cut here at 150 Hz somewhere there, because I wanted to separate the low end with the rest of the track. I want to give a little bit more space for the low end there, because it was also a little bit boomy. And then my next step would be not going here in the mid or the highs. I will just go here and try to boost a little bit here on to give some air. You can hear right away that it opens the track when I enable this band. In case you are wondering, oh, he's boosting so much, why so much? He measured like 2 to 3 dBs. Let me show you something here. You might think that I am boosting a lot because I am here, but if I go with my graph, I am opening like 1 dB. You have to be really careful with this, with the massive passive here, because the two bands here on the lows or and the highs, if you overdo it, you will see like a big boost here. Let's go and bring it back. And my next step would go and be here. In this case, I would just wanted to go and boost a little bit the 4K somewhere there. And really important that I forgot to mention is the curve here. Let me go and open again here the EQ curve analyzer. If I go and change it, you are going to see that the curve changes completely. So I really love how smooth the curve from the massive passive is. And here right now, for example, I have it like really wide, but if you want, you can go and narrow it a bit, but just leave it like it is, because this is the EQ that I did here right now with the massive passive. And in addition, I have a high cut here at 40K, because I want to have a little bit cleaner from the high end. Of course, you don't have to copy these settings because this is not the same for every track. I just found that these are the settings that could help my track to come a little bit more in front, but I wanted also to mention something really important. Not all EQs shapes sound the same. Different EQs have different curves. Some are smooth, some are a little bit more aggressive, and that really affects how they shape your master. Let me show you, for example, this one here, the Bax EQ Master. This is one of my favorite if I want to have some smooth curves, and it is really perfect for transparent boosts. Okay, you don't have so many options that you had earlier, but sometimes you don't need also so much. So for example, right now here, let me go and activate it. You are going to see like, what is this curve here? Let me go and play also the track to see how it sounds. So this doesn't work at all right now. You have to dive a little bit deeper to fine tune it as you want, but this is one of the best EQs when you want to change like small things. Another EQ that a lot of people do not know about mastering is the TR5 Master EQ 432. It's a little bit long name. So yeah, this EQ is a little bit more aggressive, and it is great also for precision sculpting. And I would highly recommend this one here if you want to attenuate some frequencies, for example here, and you can see that you have more, it's a bit more precise. And let me go and bring this one back. So I would highly recommend this one here if you want to do some adjustments, but be careful, it's a bit aggressive. Now this EQ, the Mag EQ4, is an industry standard, and especially for the people that want to add a bit more air on the track. So here right now, for example, I haven't done anything, and you have from default like a little bit boost here, a little bit boost here again, and a lot of people go here on the band or the air band and just boost a little bit. Like let's go on the 20K, for example, and with this small, just a little bit, you're boosting like 1 dB in this EQ curve, and you can open it a little bit. Let's go and overdo it. So right now it opens the mix again, but you have to be a little bit careful because we overdid it here on purpose. So if I go and open, you are going to see that we are boosting at 2.5 dBs. It's okay, but you can go and dial down a little bit so you are more in the safe zone. And the final EQ that I want to show you is again the Mag EQ, but this time like boosted mode. This EQ works almost the same with the previous one, But you have here so many more options that you can go and dive in. Why I love this plugin? Because it has so many different presets here. And sometimes I just want to start and experiment a bit how to imagine the track, how it could sound with another idea, with some new ears, let's say. You have also the mid and side option here, but it's a bit, as I said, a little bit more advanced. Have a listen, hear how it sounds with just this preset. Again, it fixes a lot of the track and it comes really close on the result that I had with my own mastering with a Massive Passive. So it is a really great plugin. So now you know how important it is to decide which plugin to use for the mastering EQ. But how do you build also the perfect EQ chain for your master? Mastering is all about balance. Too much of anything can ruin your mix, right? But here's the real question. Is manual mastering still worth it in 2025? Or has AI finally caught up? In my last video, this one here, I put Ozone head-to-head with manual mastering to see which one delivers the best results. Check it out, you might be surprised. See you there.